Warning: the following podcast show that you're about to listen to will include explicit language and content in which you, the members of the audience, may find offensive. Audience discretion is advised.
Welcome to another episode of the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience.
Yeah, boy.
Where anything and everything is a subject matter on the show, and no subject matter is ever taboo.
Damn, that's what's up with you.
And now, your host with the most, Mr. Kim Hoang. Bro, am I getting paid for this?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How in the world are you? This is your boy, Kim Hoang, the Asian sensation. And we're here creating great content and providing more content here on the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience, coming at you live all the way in Wheaton, Maryland, over at the Prototype Studio by the ways of the virtual interweb. And I'm really excited about this because in this episode today, it's awesome. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have a guest, and I'm really pumped about this because, like I've always said to a lot of people, I don't mind doing an episode where I am flying solo. It's always been a thing that I've been used to, right? You know, I do episodes and it's solo and that's fine. But there's something about having a guest with you on your podcast show that you're just like, man, that's awesome. So now, instead of listening to me, you also get to hear the voice of my guest, and, you know, you can hear the chit chat and just like, you know, I don't want to say banter, but, you know, banter, if you will. And it's good and it's awesome. And we have somebody here who, long story short, this is a guest that, number one, is a martial artist. You know, has studied in the arts of Chinese Kempo karate. Currently, right now, he's also studying in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Capoeira. Who has also in his martial arts life has trained in Taekwondo, Hapkido, and boxing. He is also the host of his own podcast called My Empty Hands Podcast, which, you know, if anybody who's a podcaster, his podcast is on most of the major podcasting channels. I know for a fact Spotify is in there. You know, you can find it in Spotify. You can find it in Apple Podcasts. And if there's any other podcasting platform that we missed, I'm pretty sure that he can fill us in and we'll know more information. Today, we're going to go ahead and chew the fat with them. You know, we're going to, talk about, martial arts and, how he got there and, pick his brain on that subject matter. We're also going to pick his brain on him being a podcaster, how he runs his podcast and, how he runs things on, a technical aspect and maybe in other aspects that, we're not even revealing at this point. So I'm really excited, ladies and gentlemen. So for the one time here live on the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience by the ways of the interwebs, I have with me Mr. Reggie Darden, who is in the building. And again, I'm really excited about it. It is awesome. Reggie, what's going on, big time? How you doing?
All right. Hello. And I am excited for our chat here. Thank you for allowing me to come on and babble about martial arts and podcast. And I think we're going to have some fun, and I'm looking forward to our chat.
Yeah, no doubt. And the funny thing is, Reggie, you actually found me because of Brian Doucette's podcast, Everyday Martial Artist, which was really surprising when you actually told me that. But for those that may not know, can you explain a little bit for our audience how that came to be?
Well, I've a big fan of Brian Doucette and the Everyday Martial Artist podcast. I have listened to every one of his episodes and just really enjoy his conversations with the various martial artists. Not just I love the fact that it's not just the who's who, the people that we know, the actors and such like that. I mean, of course, that's great, but also that he has on people that are not well known. And I'm a big fan of the stories. I love hearing people's origin stories and how they got involved in the martial arts. And
Right.
So I was just completely, every week he comes out with an episode, and I'm excited to hear it. And in the case for my show is primarily focused on Kempo practitioners, but I don't limit it to that, because I of course train in many different martial arts at this point, and I have friends that are in different martial arts, and I think we all have a story to tell. So I wanted to branch out and have other styles represented, and also with that, since I think I've moved up to a yellow belt at this point in podcasting, but I consider myself a white belt in the podcasting, kind of still new to the world. I still feel new anyway. And so I thought, well, it should be good as I'm looking for different guests. I thought, you know what? I should reach out to the other podcasters out there, other martial arts podcasters out there, and have them on as well, and get their perspective, get their story, and then also maybe get some tips and tricks on how to do this podcasting thing. So there's lots of different artists out there, and some people do shows every week or every day or every month or once in a while. And so I thought, yeah, let me go ahead and get some other podcasters as well as martial artists, and you were in the list of podcasters that are still going, and so yeah, I thought, yeah, I should have you on.
Nice. Now, usually, I usually started off by doing a little bit of an icebreaker. Now, as I understand it, currently, right now, you're in Texas, right?
Yes, I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Okay. All right, now, are you originally from Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas?
No, I'm originally from San Diego. To be very specific, there's a little area that's not too far from the Mexican border called Chula Vista.
Yeah, I know Chula Vista.
That's my stomping grounds. That's where I grew up at, and I was there up until '96 when I left for the Army,
Mm-hmm.
and did the Army thing for about 3 years, and decided that I was not going to move back to Southern California, just because one number of my family had already moved away from there, and two, it's really expensive living in Southern California. Yeah, the weather's nice, but it is crazy expensive to live in San Diego. So I didn't see a compelling reason to go back there. So I moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I would say I've been here since then, but I actually was only here for a few years, and then I moved to the Reno, Nevada area, and was there I think like 16 years before I moved back to the Dallas area.
Okay. Well, what were you like, back in the day as a young Reggie growing up in the world? Was he like an outgoing kid? Was he a shy kid? Was he a creative kid? Was he an athlete? What was he?
Well, I was very much a shy, non-athletic athletic child growing up, which is kind of interesting to me in that I have 3 older brothers, and they are all sports people. They, football, track, all that good stuff, baseball. Mm-hmm. They're all sports all the time, and even bowling. They did lots of bowling. We had lots of trophies and things all in our house, but I did not get the sports gene, and I did not do any sports at all, period, until I got involved in the martial arts. And but yeah, I was very shy, very scared of everything. Just very much not a, I guess in my mind, not much a person that would end up being a martial artist and being a podcaster and all that stuff like that. I definitely was not the kind of person to put myself out there and have eyes on me and things like that. So.
Okay. So let's talk about your martial arts life. At what point did you actually visually see the martial arts for the first time? Not talking about the first time when you actually started training. I'm talking about when you saw martial arts for the first time with your own eyes. Was it something that you saw like maybe in a movie? Maybe you saw like a live martial arts demonstration at a parade or something? How did you discover it visually?
Well, I believe like you, I grew up watching the Kung Fu theater, the Black Belt theater.
Yep.
Saturdays and Sundays, those great movies would come on. The Shaw Brothers movies, just all of that. You know, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, any kind of martial arts movie that was on, I was watching it, and I'm sure I was into those even before I could speak. I mean, as far back in my memory that I could go, I was always a fan of watching the movies, and so I would just kind of watch things, and you know, as kids do, we try and mimic the things that we see, and so I would, you know, try and get those moves out here and there. I had some of my friends were involved in martial arts, and so I'd get things from them from time to time, and I wish I could find it. There is a book that I checked out from the library, and so for all you young people, back in the day, there was these little card catalogs, little slips of paper that we put in the books.
Yep.
And marked down when we would check them out and things like that. And on this particular book, my name was the only one, you know, on this little card. You just front and back, you would see my name. I would check it out, you know, have the book for a couple weeks, bring it back, and then I would check it out again. And in the book, it talked about different styles, different karate and kung fu styles and things like that. And it had diagrams of how to do certain movements. And I remember there was in the kung fu section, there was this tiger pose and this crane pose, and I would just try and mimic those movements as much as I could, and was just always just really into the arts, and just anywhere I could absorb it, that's what I did. So any kind of books or magazines, I started picking up like Black Belt magazine and Kung Fu, Kung Fu Illustrated, and just anywhere I could get my martial arts fix. That's what I did.
Now, were you the type of person, as soon as you saw the martial arts movie, no matter what type of martial art it was, after watching it into completion, you had to just like try to mimic those moves out in the open just to feel alive, like you were a part of that world?
Oh yeah, of course. That you go out to the park, and near my house there was I guess a really undeveloped area, and there's a lot of kind of sand piles, sand hills, and I'd go out there with my friends, and along with our dirt clod fights, we'd have our little kind of martial arts fights, and we'd have I have Bruce Lee's skill to do this, and you have Jackie Chan's skill to do this, or we're the 5 elemental ninjas, and I'm this ninja or that ninja, and so just go out there and just beat each other up all the live long day, and then go home, get some rest, and come back out the next day and start over again. But so yeah, watching all the movies and doing what I saw was all I would spend my days doing.
Nice. Now, here's the one that's probably going to set it off for you the most. At what point did you decide, you know what, I do want to go ahead and actively train in the martial arts formally and go to the school? And, and how did that happen? What was the reasoning behind that? Was it because you saw something and you pursued it? Or was it one of those cases that, you kind of got picked on a lot and you needed some kind of way to help defend yourself from such dangers?
Well, it's kind of a multi-part answer here. The first part of it, of course, seeing the movies, I wanted to do that sort of thing right from the get-go. I would speak to my father and ask him to join a martial arts school, and he would always tell me no. And now I can't verify this. I don't have any kind of proof of this, but his story is that at one point he was a bodyguard for Muhammad Ali. And he said that, at this particular time, 60s, 70s, the martial arts were gaining popularity here in America. And so it was still a very new thing, a very exotic thing to people. And so he said that some of the other people that he was working with were talking about, oh, well, I'm doing this karate thing, and I can, reach into a person's chest and pull out their heart and show it to them while it's still beating, and I can, touch the person here and they'll die in 2 days, and all kinds of things like this. And so he had it in his mind that the martial arts was all about killing and violence, and so he had a really kind of bad taste in his mouth for it. So when I, young me comes along, he's not interested in allowing me to get involved in that sort of thing. So he said no for many years. Took me about 14, 15 years to wear him down, and finally he agreed to allow me to join a school. So get kind of the other part of that story is one of the movies that I saw that really changed the game for me is a little movie that no one's ever heard of called The Perfect Weapon.
Yeah, Perfect Weapon. Yeah, Jeff Speakman.
Yeah, no, I say that as a joke. No, everybody knows about The Perfect Weapon. Yes, The Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman. So saw this movie and looked at my best friend, and we just looked at each other and said, that's what we need to do. So saw it and was like, well, what we need to do this, but what is this? And I happened to recognize on a sign in the early part of the movie that said Kempo on it, and so I was like, I think that what they're doing is called Kempo. So we once again, dating myself, we looked in the phone book, we looked in the yellow pages, and we found a Kempo school, and we took ourselves down there and got hooked up with that school. Now, I still had not had the okay from my father at that point, so my friend actually joined the school, and but I was basically his shadow. Every day before the school was open, I'd get out of school, go down to the school, and would wait until they open. They'd open up, and I would sit in the front, watch every single class every day for probably months. I guess probably six months, maybe even longer. And I was just there every day, and anytime the school had some sort of event or party or some kind of function, I was there, and I was just part of the family. And during this time, my friend would also kind of sneak off and show me some of the things that he was learning. So I was getting a good chunk of the curriculum before I even signed up. And once I got the green light to sign up, I was there, and I was ready to rock and roll. And just training every single day that I could be there.
Now, why choose Kempo at the time? Like, why not have like choose like something like Japanese Shotokan karate or Taekwondo or something like that? Was it just by circumstance that was the one karate school that you saw and you were just like, I just got to go ahead and choose that? Or was there a method to the madness where you actually gave it some thought and said, yeah, I want to study this style?
It was all Jeff Speakman and the Perfect Weapon and the beauty of Kempo. Kempo was just it. The movements, the badassery of it just was like, this is the way to go. And maybe subconsciously for me, one of the nice things is that in American Kempo, it's very American. And I say that in that, one, Kempo was kind of known for not wearing white gis, and where the black gis, a lot of schools wear black gis starting out,
right?
And so that's kind of one thing. I would much rather have a black gi than a white gi. That's just my thing. I think it looks a lot cooler, and so that's nice. But as far as it being very American, a lot of the schools, and so Ed Parker, the father of American Kempo, it's my understanding that he did not want to use the Chinese and the Japanese roots and that you find in other schools. So like we don't call the schools, or at least most schools anyway. Most schools don't. We're going. It's a studio. It's not a dojo. It's not a dojang. We don't use any of those kind of words. We don't use the Japanese words. There's not like Japanese writing or Chinese writing on all the walls and stuff like that. And everything we use English, American words for things, and not tied to a lot of that traditional Chinese, Japanese sorts of things. So,
right.
So it was nice in that our techniques, our words, have like snapping twig and things like that, thundering hammers, and not some Japanese or Chinese name that I can't pronounce and don't understand. So,
right.
It's nice for me. I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to have to learn another language. So, Kempo is a nice fit in that I don't have to use a lot of those. Don't have to use those kind of terms and things like that. But yeah, just the coolness of Kempo, it just got me hooked.
Right on. Now, at least from my understanding, I know there's American Kempo. I know there is Chinese Kempo, and I think I did learn something from somebody a while ago that even in Japan, they have their own style of Kempo. But I've always thought of it as like there's American Kempo and there's Chinese Kempo, from what I know. If for our audience that may not be aware or are unfamiliar, in your opinion, what is the difference between American Kempo versus Chinese Kempo?
Well, that's kind of a big question. The other Kempoists that may be listening and might hear me, if I don't explain my interpretation correctly, you can come find me and we'll work it out.
Hey, you're my only source of reference right now, so I'm looking at you, sir, for the answer here. I know nothing of this world.
Well, so I guess we'll kind of go back there. I guess for modern Kempo, the main man for modern Kempo is a man by the name of Ed Parker. Just so much we could say about him, but the kind of brief version is kind of the martial arts that he learned. He worked it, had ideas and principles and refined the martial arts that he learned, and came up with the principles and concepts that make up to keep things easy. I will say American Kempo. So he is he has like Polynesian descent, and when he was forming the system, he wanted to call it American Kempo. A lot of his peers said, "Oh, well, no, this needs to be Hawaiian Kempo, or this needs to be Polynesian Kempo, or anything else." And he was he's very much an American, and he's like, "No, this is America. This is American Kempo, and that's what we're going to call it." A lot of kind of others that were coming up around the same time as him, and some that even learned from the same teachers that he learned from, wanted to have they felt that it was, well, I should say one of the teachers that Ed Parker had was a Chinese martial artist. So a lot of people that kind of trained at that same time and from under that same instructor, when they kind of branched out and started to have their own schools, they would call it Chinese Kempo. And so that's kind of like one branch. So you'll see some schools that are Chinese Kempo, but I think when you're talking about modern Kempo and most Kempo systems these days, they kind of fall under the umbrella of American Kempo from Ed Parker. A lot of Ed Parker students. So Ed Parker was continuously refining the system and making changes to the system to make it more effective for the street, more effective as a self-defense art, and not just kind of tied to all these kind of traditional trappings and whatnot. But of course, not everybody sees eye to eye, and so as his students branched off and other people that were coming up in the same time, they were like, no, we're gonna call it Chinese Kempo, or we're gonna call it Hawaiian Kempo, or we're gonna call it Polynesian Kempo, or we're gonna come up with some other name for it. And so there are some similarities, and some people teach kind of the same techniques or some kind of variation of it. Some people added things to the system. Some people kind of took away from things in the system, and there's a lot of kind of different branches of it. But I would say kind of the main one that most Kempo schools fall under is the American Kempo branch under Ed Parker.
Right on. Now, this was obviously, like, how old were you when you actually formally started training Kempo at that time? Were you like 12? Were you 11? How old were you at that time?
I guess it would have been about 14, 15, somewhere around there. It was
14, 15?
90. Yeah. Let's see. I believe Perfect Weapon came out in 90, 91.
I think that's right.
I believe I started in 93.
Okay.
If I remember correctly. So.
Oh, wow.
Might have been, maybe at the end of 92. I have to look at I still have my old training manual, and whenever we'd learn a new technique, they would write the date that you learned that technique. And so I have to look at it, but it may have been late 92, maybe early 93.
According to IMDb, The Perfect Weapon was out in 1991.
91, yeah.
91, yeah.
I keep forgetting whether or not it came out. So Ed Parker died in December of 90, and unfortunately he never got to see the movie. The
movie, yeah.
And I always forget if it had came out before or after he died. So.
How long were you at training in Kempo at that time before I'll just say before you actually took a hiatus, if you will?
So I was at the school up until I left for the Army in '96. So, from '93 to '96, I mean, I was there almost
3 years
nonstop. Yeah,
Okay.
when I left for the Army, I got involved. That's when I got involved in some Taekwondo, and I did some boxing while I was in the Army. Just because I wanted to continue to train and
Still keep the martial arts alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Within you.
Exactly. So,
what rank were you in Kempo when you actually left to go to the Army?
I was about to train. I was about halfway through my green belt, which in this particular version of Kempo. So technically, the school that I started at was a Chinese Kempo school, but still kind of falls under Ed Parker, and that's a big long tree. But we can get to that at another point. But so at the school that I was at, you start as a white belt, then you go to orange, purple, blue, green. There's 3 degrees within brown, and then you get to your black belt. And so I was about halfway through my green belt, and was closing in on testing for my 3rd brown when I left for the Army.
Okay, so green in the Kempo school that you went to was kind of considered either an intermediate or advanced level.
Yes. Green belts, is kind of the first of the advanced levels in Kempo.
Nice. And you said that when you went to the Army, you cross-trained in Taekwondo and in boxing. And if I believe correctly, you also dabbed a little bit in Hapkido as well.
Yes. I knew I was forgetting something. So the teacher that I found, I was trying to find a teacher, and I did find someone that taught on the base that I was stationed at, and he did teach a mixture of Taekwondo and Hapkido. So
okay,
kind of blended in that. And
was it like the Olympic Taekwondo style, or was it a different type of style of Taekwondo?
I believe it was ITF style, but
okay,
don't quote me for sure on that. But I believe it was kind of modeled after the ITF or some other. I'm fairly sure it was not Olympic style.
Okay, because if it wasn't like the V style of uniform, then chances are it wasn't the Olympic style.
Yeah.
No,
we did not wear those. Sorry, Taekwondo practitioners and internet people, but I am not a fan of the V-neck do box or gis or uniform.
Really?
Whatever you want to. But to be for full transparency, I've never worn one.
Right.
But I never was a fan of the look of them, but. So I guess maybe I'll have to try them out at some point. But I was when I started at that school and when I started at the Hapkido school that I'm at now, I was very happy that we don't have the V-neck style.
What was the training like when you were training in Taekwondo and Hapkido? Was it a little bit different from what you were used to with Kempo? Was it kind of fundamentally similar? What was it like for you?
It was very, very informal. My understanding is the instructor did have an actual kind of brick and mortar school, but he would also kind of supplement that by coming on the base and teaching. But we were just kind of in the gym. Nobody wore their uniforms. I think I kind of vaguely remember somebody coming in that came from a different style, and he was allowed to just wear his uniform, but we didn't have any kind of real super formal things like that. And we would just kind of go through the training. He would come in and it's like, okay, well, we're going to work on this today, or we're going to spar a little bit, or kind of do things like that. I remember that we did have kind of people coming in from different styles, because with the military, everybody's kind of moving around and things like that. So you get kind of a mix of people from all over. And remember sparring with a gentleman that had a judo background, and he was quite a bit shorter than me, still kind of a stocky guy. I'm a big guy, and was even bigger back then. And but I remember sparring with this guy, and he grabbed me, and he did this kind of judo throw where he rolled on his back and just tossed me up in the air, and I went sailing. And I just remember thinking, like, this is not possible. I'm considerably bigger than this guy, but he threw me like I was made out of air, and I flew through the air, and I was like, and then that's when I realized, okay, judo is no joke. People may think that judo is not that great, or not effective or whatever. I can tell you, judo is very effective and works very well on people that are bigger than you. So. But as far as kind of just the training, we would just kind of work kicks or anything. I didn't really have a hard time picking up things in that. One of the benefits of my first Kempo school is that my instructor was very familiar with Taekwondo, and Kempo isn't really known for being a kicking art, but we did a lot of kicking. We had a lot of kind of Taekwondo fusion inside of the Kempo, so I felt pretty comfortable with that, and so doing that, and then doing a little bit of the wrist locks and things like that. I love wrist locks and throws and arm bars and all those good things. So it was nice to have a mixture of that. Also, kind of going back to my Kempo training. One of the mentors of my instructor was Professor Wally J, who is the inventor of small circle jiu-jitsu.
That's right.
And so we got to do some really, really cool manipulations, joint manipulations, and things like that with them. So getting to kind of continue some of that sort of thing while I was in the Army was a nice help fill the void that I had from not being at my home school. So
now explain the boxing aspect, because when you said boxing, I was a little bit surprised. I was like, no way, like actual boxing, like like the days of Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, like he did that.
Yes. Closer to the end of my time in the military, it was offered up that, you can come try out for the Army boxing team. And I was like, yeah, but I can do martial arts, so boxing should be easy.
Okay.
And the other benefit is that if you're doing the boxing training, then you don't have to do PT. And where I was stationed at, we do a lot of running, and I hate. I don't like to use the word hate, but I hate running.
I feel you.
And
I feel you.
So yeah, it's like I can go and punch things for hours, or I can run for hours. I'm going to do boxing.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll volunteer to get on the team or try out for the team, do the training for the team. So yeah, got in there, and we just did training. As soon as you walk into the gym, you go to work. There's no rest or anything. You're just alternating rounds of training, doing different drills or shadow boxing or just all kinds of different boxing drills and training, and you didn't stop until the class is over, and then that's when you get to rest, is when you're leaving the gym after 2 hours of sweating and working. So
nice. Did you actually make the team for boxing?
No, I actually just did the training. I didn't have any interest in actually fighting or competing or anything like that. So
okay.
Yeah, I just went for the training, and then whenever they would have like the smokers or the testing, quote unquote testing or anything like that. Tryouts. That's the word I was looking for. Tryouts.
Okay.
I just was like, no, I'll just go over here in the corner and I'll just do that. So, yeah, I didn't fight or anything like that. I just got the training, got the sweating going.
Nice. Now you said that you entered the Army in 96, I do believe, and then you said 3 years later, which makes it 99. You said that you basically got out. I think you probably completed the requirement of your service. If that's correct.
It's kind of a longish story, but yeah, I was at the end of my time, honorable discharge, and
okay.
I went ahead and moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and started my life over as a civilian, and just trying to kind of figure out how to how to be an adult. So I mean,
how to navigate life.
Army right out of high school. So
yeah. So when you got out, how long did it take for you to actually get the bug to, train again formally in the martial arts? Because, for some people, when you're out of the art for so long in a formal setting, to some, it might be difficult to get back. But, for you, though, it seemed like you found your way back. So when did you find your way back?
Well, I always kept kind of little pieces of things going, even. So while I was in the Army, I had to stop my Taekwondo, Hapkido training because I was in a unit that they consider what's called a rapid deployment unit. So we have to be ready to go any time. So there's a lot of training and having to go out into the field and go, quote unquote, camping and stuff like that. And that would happen a lot. So I would miss a lot of classes, and while I was training, it kind of got to the point where I was asking myself, as much as I love to train, I'm missing so many classes, and I'm paying for these classes that I don't get to do. So at a certain point, I decided to stop, and so I stopped going to the classes. But I would still kind of do some, still go to the gym and kick the bags, hit the speed bags, things like that, and still kind of keep a little bit going here and there. And so once I got out, I desperately wanted to go back to California to continue my Kempo training and get that coveted black belt. But
right,
since that wasn't really an option, I wanted to find a Kempo school in the area that I was living, and I just didn't really find anything that really fit what I was looking for, and I didn't want to move to another style. I did, once again, no slight to Taekwondo or anything like that, but I didn't want to get involved in kind of one of these cookie cutter, and I don't really want to use the term McDojo, but there's just a lot of schools, and I guess not just Taekwondo, but there were a lot of schools where they were in it for the measly paycheck and not the actual training, and I just didn't find that environment that really spoke to me. So
right, okay.
So for a long time, I just kind of did my own thing, and until I got involved with my other core art, and that is capoeira. Going back, taking the story back. So the Perfect Weapon was that super influential movie in my martial arts life. The first super influential movie. The second movie was a movie called Only the Strong.
Yes,
starring Mark Dacascos.
Yes.
Once again, it was a deja vu of that moment with my best friend where we watched this movie and we looked at each other and we said, holy crap, we got to do that. We got to find that. So at that time, we did look for a capoeira school, and unfortunately we did not find one at the time. So it was Kempo all the time, but there was a special place in my brain and in my heart for capoeira. So fast forward to being in Dallas, I probably much like many martial artists, I have my martial arts movies that I have to watch over and over and over again, and The Perfect Weapon is one of them, and Only the Strong is one of them, and so I'm rewatching Only the Strong, and I'm like, whatever happened? I wonder if there's any of this capoeira thing going on. So I started seeking out a capoeira school, and I found one in Dallas probably about a week or two before I moved to Reno. So it was ill timing, but it worked out in that when I got to Reno, capoeira was still in my mind and still fresh in my mind. So I thought, hey, let's see if maybe I can find something out here. And believe it or not, there was someone that was teaching in Reno, and went down to the class. And from right when I walked in, I just saw the capoeira goodness, and I was like, yes, this is what I need to do. And so I signed up and started that journey.
How long were you in Reno for?
I was in Reno from 99 until 2016.
Oh, wow. You were there for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be there that long, but things work out how they work out. And so, yeah, I lived in Reno for quite a while.
And that's where you actively trained in capoeira, was at first in Reno?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was Kempo still in the picture?
It was on the back burner. I mean, once I got into capoeira, that took over my interest, and it was all capoeira all the time. So it was in the back burner, and every once in a while, when I'd come across my old training manual, I'd throw in a few Kempo moves and whatnot. But I did it. Yeah, it was. My mind was all on capoeira. However, the Kempo side of it did help me out in that I sort of inherited the group, the school, the capoeira group school that I was a part of. Had issues with the instructor, and there would be times where we would show up to class and he's not there, and we would try and reach him on the phone and email, and he's not answering. So we'd kind of stand around looking at each other, and it's like, okay, who's going to teach class then?
Right.
And at the time, there was another guy that had been training, I don't know, maybe 6 months, maybe a year more than I had. So we, of course, looked at him to lead the class. He's the one that's got the most knowledge, and he would, most of the time, he was like, I'm not going to teach class. I don't want to teach class. So instead of just canceling things, I had the idea, well, I have some martial arts training. I mean, it's not capoeira, but I can maybe fill in some gaps here, or at least give us something to do. So a lot of those classes were capoeira Kempo fusion, and in that we would do a lot of. I would just think, okay, well, I used to do these kind of kicking drills and these kind of movement drills, and so there was a lot of karate drills that were done. Kempo karate drills done in a what was supposed to be a capoeira class. So yeah, I kind of just filled in as much as I can, and then the instructor would come back, and we would continue our training, and then we'd run into another situation where he would just disappear, and so I'd kind of fill in, and that kind of increased my importance or status, or not sure what you want to call it. My role in the group increased over the years while I was there.
So when did you settle back into the Dallas Fort Worth area on a more permanent basis like you are right now?
So in 2016, I guess I'm not sure. I think I lost the job that I had. I had a pretty good job in 2015, and that didn't work out, and I was just having a really hard time finding a good job, and so I work in the tech field and tech IT field, and I just couldn't find a good work. So a friend of mine that lives out here said, "Hey, we can see. Let's see if we can get you on at my company." And so I was like, "Okay, sure." And my mother and a couple of my brothers were living out here, so I packed up and moved to Texas and just started things. Luckily, I was able to get that job, and so I was rocking and rolling. And I said, "Well, this is my home now," and we'll go.
Became a Texan again.
Yep.
Nice. At what point did you? It said that from what I understand, you dabble in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You go to a Jiu-Jitsu academy currently right now, I think. When did that get into the mix?
So last year, unfortunately, my current Kempo instructor had to close his school. And I guess going back, I mean, I've always interested in cross training, and it's it's like the big man at the buffet. There's so many martial arts and stuff to get involved with, and so I always kind of have my eye out for different things. Well, when the Kempo school closed down, I knew it was going to be a little bit before my instructor could kind of get something going to where we could do classes in like in our garage or things like that. I knew it was going to take a little bit of time to kind of get things back to where I could train regularly. So I thought, well, maybe might be a sign to just consider trying a different style. And so I kind of went on the martial arts school tour, and I started going to just about every different school around here that I could find. There's a Shotokan school, there's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu schools, there's Taekwondo schools, there's Kobudo and Kyokushin, and just all kinds of different stuff out here. So I just went around and started sampling what was available, and I actually was never super interested in jiu-jitsu, or I should say Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like many, I remember watching the first UFC and just seeing this little skinny guy Royce come out and just turn the martial arts world kind of upside down. And I had some little samplings of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu over the years, but I never was super into getting involved with it. But since I was on this school tour, I was like, well, let me give this another shot. And I happened to find this school that just really welcomed me in and really just really made me feel loved, and so I got signed up, and just been real rocking the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and all that has to offer. So yeah, I train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now, and they also have Muay Thai, so I try and get a little bit of that in when I can, and yeah, I'm just enjoying that.
How many years now have you been training in BJJ?
It'll be a year in December of this year. So.
Okay. This is my observation, because you are a person that is trained and dabbed in a lot of martial arts, and I definitely praise you for that, because that it kind of makes you, in a sense, like a Renaissance man for sure. But with all this training, you have yet to earn a black belt rank in any of those systems. Not to say that that's not going to be aiming your way yet. I'm pretty sure that somewhere down the horizon it will. But you training in in all these arts at the same time and not having a black belt in one of the systems, do you feel like that's an advantage for you? Do you feel like it's a disadvantage? Do you feel like you had to find your own way? Because there's some people, there's some martial artists out there that have like this weird stigma that you have to be a black belt in one system first before you can go into another, because that way, like, if you try to study all these different arts at the same time, it'll probably get confusing, and you don't want to confuse your training when you're when the black belt is like the big goal for at least in that one art. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, that's a slippery slope in that you can definitely get your wires crossed, your mind scrambled, and you can't really, it's hard to get great at any one art if you're doing 5 at the same time. And I will be the first to admit that I'm a very mediocre martial artist in all the different arts that I train. I'm definitely I definitely think that there's different people have different ways of absorbing information, and some people can handle doing different martial arts at the same time, and some people totally can't. So I wouldn't say everyone does that. I say that it's okay for me, and I think it works for me. Yeah, I could probably be better if I just focused on one, but like I mentioned, it's hard to stay away from the buffet when you have all this great stuff on the buffet, and you just want to get a little bit of it all. So there's that part of it. The other part of it is kind of the circumstances. So with my first Kempo school, I would have, had I not moved away to join the military, I would have gotten my black belt at that school.
Right.
So that's kind of one of the things in my capoeira training. I have a advanced rank, but there's a long kind of story with that. But not getting my, I guess, black belt equivalent in capoeira just came from not kind of having a full-time teacher, and there's a big long story with that, but even though I trained in it for a lot of years and ran a school for a lot of years, because I wasn't kind of completely connected with kind of the bigger organization, I can't rank up if I don't really have anyone to rank me up. So that was kind of the situation there with my Kempo training now. With the instructor having to close the school, that really kind of messed up the timeline in testing. So like I guess I shouldn't say should be, but had the school not closed down, I would have been well into my brown belt by this point. But since we don't kind of have a formal school and things aren't kind of set the way that they usually were running, it's pushed my testing back quite a bit. So I of course definitely want to get the black belt. It's not the end all be all. I'm just happy to train.
Right.
As it stands right at this moment, things are pretty much set. I think I will in Hapkido. I think I will probably be ready at least for kind of the black belt testing, earning that black belt. Probably sometime after next year.
Right on.
Maybe the end of next year, but I think I can pull that off if I get in there and train. But so yes, I would like to have the black belt, but at the end of the day, I just want to train. I'm just enjoying the training. Same thing with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's like I'm a one stripe white belt at this point, and if I don't get any other stripes, if I don't get another belt, it doesn't matter to me. I just want to come in and get my rolls in and just learn as much as I can. So
I hear that. They usually say that when it comes to the martial artist and their journey in the martial arts, it's very sacred, and it's something for them, something that they do, and that's that's the bottom line. Anybody else otherwise, I mean, hey, if you have your own journey in the martial arts, great. If not, then why are you kind of actually butting into mine? Get your own journey, start your own path. This is my path.
Exactly. I'm all about just go out there, have fun, and enjoy the training, learn what you can.
Right.
And the rank, the belts, whatever, those will come. If you're doing you, keeping true to what you want, then that's all that matters. There's a lot of belt chasing and things like that. Not just in Kempo. There's a lot of drama around people getting this degree and that degree, and it's a lot of nonsense. But now being exposed to all these other arts, I see it's the same thing with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and every martial art has this drama and that. But it's like it doesn't matter. Who cares if this person got their belt in this many years or that many years, or it doesn't matter. Just the training is what matters.
Copy that. You are a man that is a host of his own podcast, which I was very honored to be a guest of. So thank you for that. The My Empty Hands podcast. When did this officially start, and what inspired you to want to even go down that rabbit hole?
Yeah, it's definitely a rabbit hole for sure. So I've actually, for a lot of years, I kind of had the idea of doing a podcast. I actually wanted to kind of do like a pop culture, a movie podcast. I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of TV, and some of my friends used to do a little kind of a review show. They would watch like Dexter, or Breaking Bad, or something like that, and we'd get together on a Google Meet or whatever. Actually, it wasn't Google Meet, Google Hangouts. That was it.
Okay.
We used to get on that and whatever the latest episode of Breaking Bad would come out, and we'd sit around and talk about it. And so I kind of had the idea of having a show for that sort of thing years and years ago, but it never really kind of went anywhere. Just I would think about it sometimes and I'd say, oh yeah, it'd be great if I had my own show, but never got into it seriously. And fast forward to September of last year. I like I mentioned, I've been listening to the Everyday Martial Artist podcast with Brian Doucette, and another podcast that I listen to is the Mind Sensei podcast with Peter Taz, another very Kempo focused show, very kind of similar to mine, and he interviews interviews people, a lot of the Kempo legends and Kempo greats, and so I would just hear these two different shows, and I was just really love hearing the stories, but kind of more connected on the everyday martial artist side. Mr. Doucette would talk about, oh, well, if you have people that you'd like to have on the show, send them my way. And I was like, oh, well, there's a lot of people that I know and I'm connected with and stuff that I would like to hear on this. I would like to hear a interview of. So I would send Brian these people that I know, and like I mentioned on our episode, I believe, I'm willing to bet that I'm probably in the top 3 of people that have sent the most the most guests to Brian. I mean, every time I would just come across somebody or I'd watch something and I'd be like, oh yeah, you should talk to this guy or that girl or whatever. So I would just send them my way. And I'm an extremely patient person, except for when I want to have people on a show. And it kind of got to a point where I was like, which he has had some people that I've recommended on the show. And I was like, I don't know, he's not getting to some of these people fast enough. So I said, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and try this podcasting thing for myself. And so I started I put out the call to some of the different groups that I'm part of, Facebook groups that I'm part of. And I said, hey, well, I'm thinking of starting a podcast. If anybody wants to be on the show, like, let me know, and we'll kind of see how it goes. And I thought it was just going to be crickets, but had a lot of people agree to be on, which very much surprised me. Not only that, but a lot of big name people in the Kempo world were some of the first people that agreed to be on. So I was really surprised by that and excited by that. And I was naive enough to not realize how much work it is to do a podcast. But I just kind of jumped right in, and with a lot of encouragement and help from Brian Doucette, I got myself the first of many different microphones and some various other gear, and just jumped right in and got my first guest and interviewed him, and just kind of went from there. And so as we're recording here, I just passed my 1 year anniversary, and people are still saying yes. So I'll keep doing the show as long as people agree to be on.
Well, congratulations on that for sure. Before you even decided, I mean, did you have any reservations about being a podcaster? Was there any concerns or worries that you had, entering this field? Or did you just say, you know what, I'm just going to enter it because I have no fear?
Oh no, I'm totally scared. I'm still scared every time I do a episode. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be crap. Like, no one wants to listen to like, who's this guy, and like, why should I listen? And I'm this is definitely not the Joe Rogan. I'm not gonna have millions of. Maybe one day, hopefully, maybe I'll get past the dozen or so listeners I have now. But
right.
Yeah, no, I was totally scared about it. I knew for sure that I wasn't going to do video, although that may change because I hate watching myself. But probably just as much as I hate watching myself, I hate listening to myself, and I didn't think anybody would want to listen to me either. So, but I just said, I'll just go ahead and give it a shot, and because when I locked into doing it for me versus doing it for listeners, then it got easier to go ahead and launch the show. This is a the martial arts in specifically Kempo is very niche, and I know that there's not going to be tons and tons of listeners to it, but at the end of the day, I don't care. I want to hear the stories. I want to hear people's journeys. So if I'm the only listener to the show, then that's fine with me. But I figured there would be other people that may want to hear some of these stories, and so I just got out there and put it out, and there are a few people that seem to enjoy it. So good. That's just bonus.
How did you know what kind of equipment that you needed for your podcast? Because there's some people, obviously there's a lot of, methods to the madness. Some people actually record now these days because we have great technology. They can record from their phones, whether it be an iPhone or an Android. There are some people like myself, if I'm doing it in person, have like a podcast vocal recording machine, or some people like to do it from the remotely by either Zoom or whatever software that they can get their hands on. How did you know what worked for you, what equipment to get, and what made you at that point decide, yeah, this is exactly what I'll be needing for my podcast?
Well, big props and thanks to both Brian Doucette and Peter Taz. I reached out to both of them and said, hey, well, I'm going to do this podcasting thing. Like, what do I need to do? And they kindly shared the tips and tricks that they use, and so I took all that to consideration. For the boys and girls out there that are maybe thinking about getting into podcasting, video blogging, or whatever it's called now, it is very much a rat hole that that you can get into, and it can get expensive very quickly.
Agreed. Agreed.
And I would say that there's probably I probably have more gear than I need, and I really don't have much. But I think I've picked up a few things that I probably really don't need. But I don't know. It's kind of fun, kind of piecing all these things together. But as far as just doing a show, I mean, yeah, the technology is so great, and there's so many different services and things to help you out that you can really get everything done with just your phone, and it's pretty exciting. I mean, you don't even need a laptop or anything to do a lot of this stuff, and but I just kind of went with those gentlemen's recommendations, and a lot of watching different reviews and guides and things on YouTube. I mean, YouTube is such a resource for good and for bad, maybe, but I was pretty fortunate, and I think I got a nice little setup, or at least it's working for me, and I'm fairly happy with what I've got now. We'll see how that goes as I kind of dipping my toes into the video side of it, and we'll try and do some video episodes and some live episodes and stuff like that down the road. But
being where you started from the beginning until at this very present moment in time right now, do you still feel nervous about being a podcaster and doing your thing, or has it have you calmed down a little bit? You put yourself in a position where I've done this a couple of times now, so I'm kind of used to it. I think I'm okay where I'm at right now because I found my little niche.
Well, as far as the workflow and just kind of the steps that I take to create an episode, that part of it is fine. I still get a little bit, I guess I get a little bit scared in the fact that I don't do any kind of sorry folks, but I don't do any pre-research or anything like that. I just hit people up and ask them to be on, and fortunately it's all worked out all right, I think. And I've only had one person kind of give me notes afterwards on the episode, because I didn't talk about something. It was like something that they're known for, and I didn't even bring it up because I didn't know, and that comes from me not doing any research. So there's a little bit of nervous when I reach out to somebody that is a big name or something like that, or they're well known for something, and I don't touch on it. Sometimes I kind of worry about that, but at the same time, it's like there's so many podcasts out there that, especially with these interview shows where we all go over the same thing and we ask the same questions, and that's fine, but I would like to not just do that, because you can certainly get more listeners if you have a different angle, or whether better or worse angle, but something different than just getting the same regurgitated stuff over and over again. I mean, some of my guests are extremely well known, and going through their origin story for the 100th time, not everybody's like me and wants to hear the same stuff over and over again. So sometimes I worry about just that aspect of it and not being quote unquote prepared. But other than that, just kind of asking people. I sometimes worry that I'm bothering people or annoying them, especially when maybe I get their attention and they agree to be on, but life is crazy and we can't get scheduled and things like that. And so I have to do this kind of dance of, oh, well, how long should I wait until I reach out to them again? Or should I send them another email? Should I send them another Facebook message? So it's like, at what point do they get sick of me bothering them?
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
What are your goals and aspirations, being that you are a podcaster and that you have the podcast of, My Empty Hands podcast? What's the aiming goal right now? What is the goal for the future?
I just want to keep talking to people and keep getting their story, just meeting people. It would be great if I could, one day and train with some of some of my guests, and just really, I just want to get the experience and get the stories out there. Yes, it would be nice to get hundreds of listeners,
right?
Or 100 listeners,
right.
If we can get to the 3 digits, that will be a win. But yeah, I just want to get the stories. I want to get to meet people. I want to hopefully kind of connect people. As I kind of mentioned before, there's a lot of drama in the current Kempo world. It would be great if we could maybe kind of help unite the Kempoist and the other martial artists out there. There's still that, oh, well, my style is better than your style, or this, that, and it would be nice if we could get rid of some of that and get rid of some of those egos, and we can all be friends and enjoy these great arts that are available to us. So it would be nice to be able to unite people and bring people together and get those stories out there. I'm a firm believer that we all have a story to tell, and just because I don't have a TV show, or I don't have a movie, or I didn't write this or that book or whatever, doesn't mean that I don't have something valuable to share. And I think all of us that train should have these stories that should get outside of our little bubble, a little circle. And so yeah, I just want to get the stories for me first, and then get them out to anyone else that might hear them.
Nice.
If the show increases or whatever, or we do videos or that kind of thing, live streams and stuff. That's all icing on the cake.
Nice. Well, Reggie, this is the point of the show, my friend, where we actually have a great fun activity called the Rapid Fire, where we take our, in-studio guest or virtual guest on a journey where we ask a whole bunch of questions. It could be anything. Could be true, false, multiple choice. It could be, realistic, or it could be, mythological. And we just ask you, and you just do the very best that you can. That being said, Reggie Darden, are you ready for the Rapid Fire Challenge?
Round 1, fight.
Let's do it.
Oh my God, he came in with the special effect, dude. Oh. Yes. Oh my God, that's awesome. Without any further delay, ladies and gentlemen, Reggie Darden, the host of My Empty Hands podcast, versus the Rapid Fire Challenge here on the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. So let's go ahead and ask these questions in no specific order. Between the primary colors of yellow, blue, and red, my favorite primary color is.
Out of those, let's go with red.
Okay, cool. Favorite car?
That's a tough one. I'm more of a kind of a truck SUV person.
Okay.
I still have a love for a Mini Cooper, like the Countryman style, Countryman model.
Okay.
I do like those, but I've always also been a fan of kind of your classic American muscle, the Camaros and the old school Camaros, things like that.
Okay. Being that you're over in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, are you a fan of either the Dallas Cowboys, or are you a fan of any football team like the Houston Texans?
All right, internet people, sorry, but especially Dallas people. I guess I should start with I am not a football fan. I'm not a sports guy. I do watch occasionally football or something of that nature. But I will say I have never been a Cowboys fan. Sorry, internet and Dallas folk, but I've never been a Cowboys fan. I know that you will like that my brother is very much diehard Ravens guy. So
God bless
I'm
him.
sure that will warm your heart there.
Yes, it does.
But I've never been a Cowboys guy, so I'll root for anyone that is playing against the Cowboys.
So I guess that asking you the question of, are you a baseball fan of the Texas Rangers or the NBA team of the Dallas Mavericks, out of the question?
Well, I am definitely not a baseball fan. So growing up in San Diego, whenever there's a school prize or something to treat you for a job well done, it's either a trip to the zoo or a Padres game. And so I've been to lots of actually, I don't even know if there's still a team anymore, but
the Padres are still there.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I've been to lots and lots of Padres games, and back in the 80s, they were not so great. So going to a game where your team is losing is kind of depressing. And I'm kind of, since I've never really been the sports person, it's like, okay, well, I've been to a game, I know what happens. Okay, that's about it. And going to so many of them over and over and over again, I'm definitely not a baseball fan in that aspect.
Gotcha.
As far as like basketball is concerned, so my father took me to a lot of Clippers games back in the day.
Okay.
And unfortunately, because he's not made of money, he's not the daddy Warbucks. We got the worst seats you could probably get. I could probably get a better view of the game from the parking lot. The seats were so high and so far back. I remember
the classic nosebleed section.
Oh, nosebleed would be an upgrade from whatever seats we got. I do remember going to an All-Star game, and we were literally in the last row. Right, less than a foot behind me was the wall. And I remember seeing a game, and it was like, oh, like Jordan's hitting the court, and I'm just looking. It's like, that ant down there, that's Jordan. I'm like, okay, I'll take your word for it, because all I see is just a little speck on the court from where I'm at. So, yeah, I didn't also kind of same situation. The Clippers were not great, so it's like, okay, well, I'm already here in this stadium in the worst seats possible, and watching something that I'm not really particularly interested in. However, did get opportunity to watch the Korean Tigers Taekwondo demo team as a young person, and now that was awesome. I'll go to the stadium, go to the courts for that anytime.
Nice, nice. Are you a fan of the UFC? And if so, who are your favorite fighters in the UFC?
I don't watch the UFC, at least as far as the current stuff. When it first started, I mean, that was the first few, I don't know, first 10, 15 of them or so. That was must see watching. I mean, we got together. I still remember that first one like it was yesterday. Us all kind of getting together from the Kempo school, and Keith Hackney, White Tiger Kempo stylist, came out there, and we were just like, all right, Kempo's gonna rock that world. And Keith Hackney did great in that first UFC and this early UFCs. So yeah, I was definitely all in on the UFC back then. Now I will, see a match here and there, but I really don't follow it. I don't know who's the people now, so I wouldn't be able to say on that. But I do enjoy it when I see it, but I don't feel like it's an appointment viewing these days.
Okay. Favorite martial arts video game of all time?
Oh my gosh, that's a tough one. There's so many. There's so many out there. Just from sheer time frames, it's probably a tie. At least for the amount of hours and quarters I spent on Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat 2.
Nice.
Those games I just can't. I mean, that was a big part of my teenage years. give a little shout out to the first Mortal Kombat. I remember when that came out, and there was one arcade in my area that had the game, and it was like, oh, like what is this game? Like, oh my God, they're punching each other and they're bleeding and there's fatality. Like, oh my God, I saw the first fatality and our minds were just completely blown away. So those definitely rank high up there. I will also have to give a shout out that I don't think this game gets talked about nearly enough, but there's a game called Sleeping Dogs, and it is for those that may not know. On the surface, it looks like a Grand Theft Auto clone, but it is very much not that. It is a open world game like GTA is, but it's very much a kind of a Hong Kong action movie in the shell of a open world GTA style game, and there's just a lot of cool fights, a lot of cool action in there. The story is really cool, and it's got a really good mechanics and things like that. So definitely Sleeping Dogs is high up there on my list.
Favorite martial arts uniform company?
I really don't know the names anymore. I mean, I know the KI brand. That was kind of the ones to have back in the day. Actually,
KI International is the best, I think.
Yeah. I can't remember for sure if it was a KI brand, but I remember I had so in my Kempo days, or I should say my early Kempo days, one of the big things was kind of one of the coveted items was to have a super heavyweight gi.
Yep.
I just had that nice crisp pop.
That snap. Yeah.
And and just that sound and just that look. And, you showed up with that super heavyweight gi and black, and you just got all the nice seams and, fresh patches and stuff on there. And just, you were
you were in.
I like to say the bee's knees. That was that was the thing to have. So wanted one of those for a very long time, and finally saved up my money, and I got one because I wanted to have a nice gi. I can't remember if it was. I think it was for my blue belt test. It was either for my blue or my black or my green belt test. Excuse me.
Okay.
And so I wanted to have a really nice gi. So I saved up my money, got this it was kick-ass gi. And I loved it and everything. And when I left for the Army, I packed it up and did all my things. And I remember coming back to San Diego. I was on leave and came back to San Diego, and I was like, oh well, I'm gonna go hit up the Kempo school and go to sparring class. And got this nice killer gi out and got all my new pretty new sparring gear, and had a good old time at sparring class. And I packed everything up and went back to my base, but I had forgot to bring the gi with me, and it was freshly from sparring class, full of sweat, and it was folded up in my bag, and it sat in this bag for years. And so unfortunately it was for my green belt test, because I remember I was mad that I spent all this money for this gi and only got a few wearings out of it, and probably about 2 or 3 months of usage out of it. And then it was totally ended up totally ruined, rotting in this sweaty bag. So that's how it goes.
Yeah, it sure does. Favorite martial arts weapon?
That's probably going to be the staff. The staff is just a badass weapon, and it's relatively practical, I guess, or I should say, you're likely to come across something that's going to take the place of a staff, and I've just really always loved that. Also, kind of similar, the spear. I've really liked that. I haven't seen too much. I don't think that's a lot of people's go-tos, but I'm a big fan of that. And then let's see if I have it. I guess I don't have it on my desk anymore, but also a big fan of the karambit.
The karambit. I know what the karambit is. Yeah. Like the Filipino Kali curved knife.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, big fan of that. Would like to get more into that, but as if I don't have enough to do already. But it's definitely on my list. But I would say the staff is my number one.
iPhone or Android phone?
I have an iPhone.
God bless you.
I used to rock the Android side, but I got caught up in all of the rooting your phone and the ROM scene, and for all you non-nerds, it's another rat hole to go down that is not worth it. So
Gotcha.
I got tired of doing all of the quote unquote hacking, and wanted to just be able to have a device that I could actually use. So I did go the iPhone route, and then once I discovered all of the, it's nice that it has all the integration between my laptop, my MacBook, and my iPhone. iPods back in the day, and just the ecosystem of it all works nicely. So I do enjoy it for that. I would certainly be willing to try an Android these days. It's been a long time since I guess once again to date myself, I think the last version that I used was gingerbread, jelly bean, probably somewhere around there. So yeah, it was fun, but yeah, I got tired of my phone not working, or the camera not working, or something not working when I put whatever custom ROM on my phone. So I had to switch over to iPhone.
Favorite gaming system?
I guess I would have. Well, that's kind of tough, because I guess it just depends on the period of my life that I was in. I mean, the original Nintendo got a lot of love back in the day. I believe that my household was one of the first in the neighborhood to have one when they originally came out. So. Once again, dating my old self. I mean, I had Robbie the Robot, and I mean all that when we got the first Nintendo. So
right on.
That one is very, very high up there. The original PlayStation was a big deal to me, because that actually got me away from my love of the Nintendo. Big thanks to Tomb Raider and Lara Croft for pulling me away from Nintendo, and so I went with the PlayStation, and spent a lot of hours on the various Tomb Raider games. So that one's a big love as well. So really, really hard to say. I guess we'll give the love to the original Nintendo for now.
Right on. Couple more questions. if there was another martial art that you have never studied that you would like to train in formally, what art would that be?
As I haven't trained enough enough arts, I think I've been in them all already. Gosh, that one's pretty tough. I think I'm gonna have to say, because this actually might end up on my list here, but I think I'm gonna say Kyokushin karate. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Masayama and his badassery, and I've got a great teacher out here that teaches Kyokushin, and I think it's one of the things that's kind of karate's all about, or at least it's kind of the way, I don't know, karate should, the way karate should be, or getting back to kind of the way karate used to be, where this is a combat art. There's a lot of schools, there's a lot of people training these days that just martial arts and karate and taekwondo or whatever has just been something to do, and not that lifestyle, not that way of. I mean, it's combat, and there's a lot of combat that's gotten out of the martial arts, and but Kyokushin, all the Kyokushin that I've been exposed to, it's like, no, we're not softies around here. We're here to fight. We're here to train. We're here to work and really make this not just I don't know, pickleball or whatever. So, nothing against pickleball. I don't know anything about it. So, but just not something kind of you do, and more part of your life and your experience.
What is the best piece of advice that you have ever received, whether if it's martial arts related or non-martial arts related?
There is a lot. I would probably say, I guess I would say, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That is, that's been kind of a huge one for me. I mean, with the podcasting thing, had I sat around and thought, I'm not sure, is anybody going to listen? And I thought, no, if I make a podcast, somebody will listen to it, and so just did it. And anytime that I've doubted something that I could do, it doesn't happen. So I think that's a big one. I think the other one is just train, just do it. We can have excuses for not training and not doing this. Oh, I can't go to class today because I stubbed my toe or whatever. The barista didn't give me my right order, so I have to miss class for a week. It's like, no, just get out there and train.
Yeah.
Even if you can't do a particular move, or you haven't got that kata right or whatever, or heck, both your legs could be broken and you still can go to class and learn something. So yeah, just get out there and train. Leave all the excuses at the door and just go train.
Nice. Two more. Let's say you got invited to a real extravagant dinner where it was you and you could bring 3 guests. Now, being said that, what 3 guests would you like to invite? Now, here's the tricky part. There could be alive or deceased, famous or non-famous, somebody that you know personally or somebody that you don't. Who would be those 3 guests?
Well, first, of course, is going to be my wife, because she's awesome, and she allows me to do all of this crazy stuff, and she doesn't run away when I come around and say, "Oh, well, I'm going to train in this martial art now, and I'm going to start a podcast," and all
Right.
that. So,
Right.
definitely have to include her because she's my everything. So, so she's the first one. The second one, I would have to say Ed Parker. He is such ahead of his time in the development of Kempo and the martial arts and a lot of the martial arts principles and things like that. So just to be able to pick his brain and just kind of learn all of the different lessons and whatnot that he has to offer, I would definitely like to sit down and have a chat with him. Third one, that's tough. I mean, there's so many people that would be kind of difficult. I think just to give the capoeira side of things more love, like to sit down and have a chat. So one of the big influential people in the world of capoeira, especially in America, is a man by the name of Mestre Accordion. He is pretty much the reason why capoeira exists in America. He was a student of kind of one of the two kind of fathers of modern capoeira. He was a student of one of those teachers, and so I would definitely like to be able to sit down and have a chat with Mestre Accordion. I mean, I've hung out with him before, and he's an awesome guy. And unfortunately, there were some opportunities where I could have spent more time with him, and just didn't get a chance to. So it'd be nice to kind of get him sort of one-on-one and hang out and hear about all of the different things in his many years of his journey through capoeira. So we'll throw him on there.
Nice. Last but not least, at the end of the day, what would you like your legacy to be?
Well, I just want to be a good person. I hope that I can touch the lives of people that have been around me in a positive way. I certainly don't want anybody to say, oh, well, that Reggie guy, he sure was a SOB or whatever.
No.
I don't want to be definitely don't want to have a negative legacy. But yeah, I just want to be able to be a positive influence on the people around me and even the people that don't know me or don't have a chance to be around me. Hopefully with my show and the things that I'm doing, hopefully that I can be a positive influence on their life and just kind of go from there.
Nice. That being said, I usually leave this segment for my guests. At this point, you can go ahead and do the following. You can go ahead and promote your podcast. You can promote what type of social media pages that you belong to. You can give a shout out. You can give a words of wisdom or encouragement. So I'm going to go ahead and put myself on mute, and I'm going to let you do what you do best starting right now.
All right. Well, I love the shameless self promotion. So, of course, I will say that please listen and subscribe to the My Empty Hands podcast, and you can find that on all of the major podcast platforms, or you can listen directly on my website, myemptyhands.net. Or also talkingkempo.com. Either one of those will get you there. I would say just hope that folks listen to the show, and if you like what you hear, share it with a friend. If you don't like it, share it with an enemy. And that's I would say that's going to be my main plug. As far as social media, I'm on all the, well, I guess I'm not on all this stuff. Facebook and Instagram are usually the places to find me. So either look for My Empty Hands, or you can just look for me directly, Reggie Darden. And if you want to, follow me or whatever, that's fine. Just do it and say hello, and we can be buddies, and if you want to train with me, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I'm going to go ahead and give a big shout out to Henzo Gracie DFW. We've got some great professors. We've got just a really great school. Everybody there is awesome. So if you want to get your Muay Thai or your Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or even some Kempo, come on down. We got free trial week, so definitely come check us out. So that's Henzo Gracie DFW. Just come find us.
Reggie, it has been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. I mean, I've always liked to, invite, other creative people on my show, especially those that, have a podcast, because it's kind of cool where fellow podcasters can kind of talk and kind of like vibe off of one another and pick up like some ideas and some tips and so forth. But, you being also a martial artist, that was just the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? So that was really cool just to get to know you a little bit better and know a little bit about your martial arts background, about your podcasting, and, where it was and where it is now and where it's going to be in the future. I wish you nothing but the best of, luck and success, not only in your podcasting endeavors, but your martial art endeavors. And hopefully, one day you'll earn the big one, that we all, yearn for when we were a kid. And, if you ever want to run it back again for round two, you have an open invitation to come back anytime. I mean, heck, maybe the next time we might get into a martial arts debate. You never know.
Yeah, I like it. Thank you so much for having me on. I hopefully I haven't scared away all of your listeners with my ramblings, but I'm just excited to be on and to chat with you again. As right after we get done here, I'll go ahead and post my episode with you. So posted a little early. I usually put them out on Friday. So
right.
In honor of our chat today, I'll go ahead and get your episode out right after we're done here. So I thank you for being on and sharing a good conversation. And as of course you're always welcome to be on again. And we'll definitely have to do this again, both on your show, on my show. Maybe we'll figure out a way to do kind of a crossover collaboration type episode or something like that. So
yes, sir.
Let's make it happen. But thank you again.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Always. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up here on the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. Again, when I have guests on my show, it is an awesome time, no doubt. Number one, because the focus is not on me. it's on my guest. So it takes the pressure off a little bit. I'm just the host here. You know what I mean? And the guests, it's all about them. We get to know about them. We get to have a little fun. And that's the format. And I like it because it just feels like to me when I have a guest on here, even though I may not know them specifically, at least I'd say about maybe 40% of the time, because there are some people that I do invite that I do know, which is awesome. But in this case, it feels like with Reggie, I never met him before in my life, but it feels like I kind of knew him for a very long time. And he's like, the dude next door in my neighborhood. And we're just, hanging out, having a good time. And that's what it's all about here on the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. So let me do the usual closing notes. You would think after almost 5 seasons, we got it down to a science. No, we do not. So let's go ahead and do it. Let's hopefully, by my invisible Rolex here, hopefully we can get it done. And then we can go to the wrap party or lack thereof. Find me on a lot of social media outlets. Obviously, I am on Facebook. You can search me under the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. Follow me. I'll follow you back. We are on Instagram and on Twitter, now known as X. And you can find me under my tag name at TKHPC Experience. All in one word, lowercase letters. Follow me and I'll follow you back. We are on a lot of podcasting platforms up the wazoo. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, Audible, and on iHeartRadio. Now, please like, follow, and subscribe to our podcast on all of those aforementioned podcasting platforms. Also, do us a favor. If you have Spotify, please give us a 5-star ranking. We definitely appreciate that. If you are on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star ranking and a positive written review, because the more times that you do that, then our podcast will be thrown in the front of the line of each of those podcasting platforms. Somebody might see it and someone might be like, hey, that's the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. I heard about that. My friend Mary, she said that it was a great listen and a great show. Maybe we should give it some attention. Yes, please give it some attention. Again, please like, follow, and subscribe to them, on all of the platforms. And also do us a favor. Spread the word out, whether if you want to share it in person with your friends, family members, or coworkers. If you want to spread it out through social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now known as X. We also have TikTok. Share it all there because, it's called brand awareness. Sharing is caring. We do appreciate that. And last but not least, if you want to be a special guest on my show or a special guest host, if you have any constructive criticism, or if you have maybe a question for my Q&A forum that I usually do on my solo episodes, you know what? Email me. The email address is the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience at gmail.com. Whatever the subject is, write it on the subject box. Whatever the email is, write it in the email body and then send it out. Within a day or two, I will read it, I will get it, and I will respond back because I like that type of communication. That being said, guys, we are running out of time. Last notes, please be safe out there, guys. Make the right choices in life. We can't afford to make bad choices and to be buried in a pine box and get buried 6 feet under. We don't want that. We want you to be healthy. We want you to be happy. We want you to be living life. And, you deserve it. You deserve all the great things in life. And anybody that tells you otherwise, that you don't deserve nothing, show them your hand. Tell them that you have 5 fingers, but guess which finger am I showing to you? You know what I mean? We don't have that time for that negativity. It's all about love. It's all about respect. It's all about supporting one another. And it's all about, achieving our goals and dreams and our aspirations that we want out of life. So that being said, I'm going to head out the door. Again, I want to thank my special guest, Reggie Darden, which again, he has his own podcast called My Empty Hands Podcast on every major podcasting platform out there in the world. Again, I've seen it on Spotify and I've seen it on Apple Podcasts. It may be on other, podcasting platforms too, but, go ahead and check him out. Check his website out. Follow him on his social media, including Instagram. Show this dude some love, man, because he works hard. We want to see him succeed. We want to see his podcast succeed. And, as we always say, not only us martial artists, we got to stick together and support each other. But in this case, us fellow podcasters got to stick together and support each other too. So that being said, for the one time here on the interwebs via, Wheaton, Maryland, which is over at the Prototype Studio. This is your boy, Kim Hoang, the Asian sensation. I go by many monikers. I am the host with the most, the man with the plan, the guy that can bring the power within the hour. And also the dude with the right attitude saying, thank you. God bless you. I love each and every one of y'all. Please be safe out there. And we will catch you on the next episode of the Kim Hoang Podcast Experience. It's been real, guys. And we will check you out real soon. Deuces. I'm out. Peace.